I also want to go back. We talked earlier about the talking with the Googles or the Microsofts or the Yahoos, and I think you said you're still trying to figure out what it is everybody's supposed to be doing with each other and picking that portion up. But as a lot of people talk about real-time search, I talked to one person who I completely agree with, who said there is no real-time search, it's just Twitter. He's saying Twitter is the real-time search. Would you agree with that, or how would you define real-time search?
It's interesting because this is getting talked about more and more, and I think there is such a thing as real-time search, but like I said, I think you need to zoom out a little bit more, and I think it's kind of like saying Twitter is microblogging.
Right.
It is, but that's also a use case, and just a specific use case. Twitter is also just a communication network for people to organize parties and get things done and have fun and meet chat during conferences, whatever. So it's not just microblogging. In the same way, I think when you say real-time search, that's the thing. Like, you can go to Twitter and you can say, I just heard a loud noise outside my house, or the lights just went out.
Right.
Why? And inevitably or invariably, you'll see people twittering with the answer.
Right.
So, and in that respect, it's real-time search because I need to know right now what the answer to this situation is. Right. And so, okay, here's the answer. But Twitter is also trends and location and what's happening in the world, what's happening in London, what's happening in Berkeley, what are the most frequently used words in my town right now and why. I mean, I think obviously we have a ton of work to do there, but my short answer is I think there is such a thing as real-time search, but I also think it's a smaller component of a bigger
But
picture.
It wouldn't be just specific to Twitter itself. It
may be kind of specific to Twitter right now because we're in this early, and but now that it's kind of like the cat's out of the bag, I don't imagine that. I imagine that more and more people will be interested in this, right?
Right.
So.
When Google had talked recently, I think it was Larry Page said, well, we need to do a better job at real-time search, and I looked at that and part of me thought, well, first of all, for you to do a better job at real-time search, you actually have to get like the fire hose of data from Twitter. So if you guys sort that out, that's your biggest problem, not you don't know how to do it. But then you do have tools out there that are also trying to say, well, the latest stuff that's going up on Flickr is real time, or the latest stuff that Facebook, if they're putting out a stream of activity and pulling that sort of stuff, and that's real time. So I'm wondering if there's, as you look at it, do you think, well, we're the biggest fish perhaps in the real-time data generation pond, but there's a lot of other people who flow into us?
Yeah, I think it's interesting because I think what you're suggesting is true, which is that we're still figuring out what this all is. What you're saying is, okay, Twitter came along and it changed a lot, and now we're thinking about sub-second indexing of incoming information, which is amazing, right? Okay, everything that we're getting from all around the world is instantly available to anyone who wants it, right? That's crazy and cool. But that makes you think, like, what else can be thought of in that same frame of mind? So, I mean, I think basically what you do is Twitter has changed the pace, or has alerted us that there is a pace at which we can operate in real time. And then how can everything else follow suit? And do we want everything else to follow suit? So, like you said, there's content being uploaded to YouTube right now, or Flickr. Right now, there's tons of stuff being uploaded. That doesn't mean you necessarily just want everything as it's coming in.
Right.
So I think there's still tons of learning to be had here. What's relevant? When does real time make a ton of sense, and when is it more important that there's like a reputation or a relevance? Let's figure it out. Let's keep working on it. We just got started.
Let me leave off with